Okay, so Fraction Fun Friday. All right, let's take a look at our first box. What amount does this model show? Write in fraction and decimal form. Okay, so we haven't really had a chance to start talking about decimals. We've talked about it a little bit, but we have had a chance to do fractions. So if you take a look at that whole, okay, if you paid attention, that whole square, and I'm not going to have a chance to sit here and do it, it was broken up into 100 little boxes, okay, if you're paying attention. So if we took that whole square and cut it into 100 equal parts, we know that that 100 is going to be our denominator, the bottom number. Now, if we go in and we count how many of them are shaded, 2 lines were shaded. There's 10 in each line, so 20 of them are shaded, which gives us 20 hundredths as our fraction. Okay. Now, when we talk about decimals, I'm just going to put a number up here from the next box, 6.87. The way that you would really say this number is 6 and 87 100ths. Okay. Because when we're talking about decimals, there are still certain place values. So we know that this is our ones place. We have 6 whole ones. Okay. And this decimal is part of a whole. It's not a whole. Okay. So this 8 right next to the right of the decimal point is the tenths place. There is no once place. Okay. So you go ones, decimal, tenths place, and then this digit is in the hundredths place. Okay. So because we have 2 digits here at the right of the decimal point, we can't say we have 8 hundredths because we actually have 87 hundredths. Okay. Now, if we didn't have a 7 here, then we don't have a digit in the hundredths place, and we could just say 6 and 8 tenths. But because we have 2 digits here, we went all the way to the hundredths place. We would say we have 6 and 87 hundredths. Okay. So taking that little mini lesson and going back up here. Okay. If we have 20 hundredths, obviously we don't have a whole number yet. So our ones would be a 0. Okay. But we have 20 hundredths. So we need to make sure that we put our number all the way to the hundredths place value. So that is what your decimal would look like. Now, we could simplify this down to 2 tenths, right? So you could essentially put 0.2, 2 tenths, which is the same as 20 hundredths, because there really is nothing in the hundredths place at the moment. Okay, because if you take a look over here, 2 tenths would be this 1/10 and this 2 tenths. We'll get more into decimals as we continue to go through this process. Okay, so 21 hundredths as a decimal is 0.20. Okay, now let's move on to our next box. Mandy and Karen run track. Mandy finished her race in 6.87 minutes, or like I just said, 6 minutes and 87 100ths of a minute. And Karen, good old Karen, she finished her race in 6.89 minutes, or 6 minutes and 89 100ths of a minute. Okay. Who finished the race first? What was her time? So we know when we're running a race, the one with the least amount of time is the winner. If it takes you longer to finish the race, then you're the loser. So Mandy is the winner. They both used 6 minutes. They both used 8 tenths of a minute, but Mandy got there in 7 100ths and Karen got there in 9 100ths. So Mandy was faster. So her time was 6.87 87 or 6 and 87 hundredths of a minute. All right, Daniel. Bella's making faces at me. Daniel and his brother ate 5/10 of the muffins his mom made. Write this fraction as a decimal. Okay, so obviously, if they ate 5/10, they didn't eat the whole thing. So we don't have any number to put in the ones place. So 0 point, and then we have 5/10. This is the tenths place. So all you have to do is put this numerator right there, and this is giving you the same exact number. 5/10 written as a fraction looks like 0.5 when written as a decimal. Okay? And again, we will get into this. It's pretty easy. And the weekly update. What book do you wish your teacher would read to your class? Okay, this is kind of interesting. I know right now I'm in the middle of reading you Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I hope you are enjoying it. But if there is a book that you would like me to read, it doesn't have to be a chapter book. It could just be a regular book that maybe you would like me to read aloud. So I'd like you guys to type that in the comments for me if there's a book that you would like for me to read or a book that you would like for me to find, and maybe I could link a YouTube video or there's a website called Storyline Online that has a lot of different books that I could link to our Google Classroom that you guys could listen to. Okay, so what book would you like me to read or find for the class? Write it in the comments below. And the last thing, today I had marathon Zoom meetings with the district, so I wasn't really available to do any class Zooms. I did one at 2 o'clock, but only had 2 friends that were able to show up. I think there was something up with the website because I know a couple of friends tried to get in but couldn't. But I'd love to see your faces before the weekend. So if you're available, go to Google Hangouts around 6 o'clock, and we're going to do a phone call. Okay, video phone call so that hopefully everybody can get in. We can see everybody's face. Everybody can say hi and maybe share what we're going to do over the weekend and stuff like that. And then we'll come back together on Monday. Okay, so 6 o'clock, Google Hangout. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Bye.